Hello everyone, warm welcome to today's episode. Today we are being joined by Abhiruchi Atri. With over a decade of rich experience in HR, Abhiruchi Atri has worked across every major function from talent acquisition and onboarding to employee engagement and leadership development. Having worked closely with new joiners and young professionals throughout her career, she's seen firsthand the behavioral and skills gap that often emerge during the college to corporate transition. Abhiruchi, welcome to the session and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Yogesh. I'm so happy and so excited to be here, a part of this podcast. And yeah, it's been lovely knowing you. It's been lovely being a part of this entire journey. And yeah, fun. I mean, I'm just looking forward to the fun and the questions that you have for me, if at all, in the, podcast.
Thank you. So let us get started. You have transitioned from a long career in HR into designing and delivering soft skills and early career programs. What made you take this turn and what excites you the most about it?
Okay, so Dr. Yogesh, it wasn't really, one fine day I had one big epiphany and I took that one big decision that now this is what I want to do. It was a series of little moments that I faced, that I noticed, that I observed throughout my career. Because as you very nicely introduced me, I have worked in recruitment, I have worked in hiring, and I have worked very closely with young professionals. So I used to see that these new joiners, they are coming full of enthusiasm and they are so excited to start this journey, but within a few weeks sometimes something used to switch in them. That spark used to get lost, or they started struggling a little despite being amazing on their CV and their technical interviews. So, they would say things like, oh, I did not know that. Oh, I did not realize that. And that is okay, because we are new in the corporate journey. That is okay to say all this. I think there were a few key moments. One that I remember very clearly, there was this young chap in a company that I was working with. I was working there as an HR. Now I have made sure that I have always made myself very approachable as an HR, especially to the young professionals, because I remember when I started my career, how nervous I was, how I was looking for somebody who would, guide me without any judgment and everything. So I was always very approachable to, especially to the new joiners and freshers. So I remember there was this fresher, and he must have done a project. He did some work, and he got a feedback on that. And sadly, the feedback was not very positive. It was a little critical, which happens often. So after the feedback, you won't believe that he started crying. He broke down after the feedback. And being HR, I approached him and I was like, what happened? So he was like, ma'am, I'm so disappointed and I, feel like such a failure. I haven't done my job well. And ma'am, I come from a really humble background and I don't want to lose this job. And that is the conversation that just hit me, because I sat with him then and there. I explained to him that this is not an exam and this is not a result. You haven't failed your semester here. This is just a feedback. And do not take this as personally. This is not supposed to be punishment. This is information for you. We at an organization give feedback so that we are just saying you that here is what is going wrong and here is how you can get better. So since then, and similarly, such little things used to keep happening during this journey that kept, making me realize that we as freshers or early career professionals sometimes are not really ready for that campus to corporate transition. And there are so many things. I mean, we are very good with our books, but we may not be very good with people. We may not be very good with words, whether giving it or receiving it. So we are not exactly corporate ready. And that is why, I wanted to take this step to take that initiative to make sure that, early stage guidance is what truly matters. And once, they are ready, they feel a lot more confident. They are a lot less fearful, ki, oh, whether or not I'll have this job or not. Oh, what if I get fired? Any which way, the marketplace, the job market is so dynamic, we don't know. So people are very worried, especially the young ones.
True,
So,
true.
it's very important for them to understand how to be professional. It's as simple as being professional. So, yeah, there were things, incidents like this that made me realize that there is a huge gap still, that colleges unfortunately are not preparing students on how to be a good employee as well. They are teaching them how to be a good student, but how to be a great employee is still somewhere, lost in colleges. So I think that is what excites me, that if I can create that bridge between theory and real life, if I can help them connect that, and if I can help, younger people, young professionals enter the workforce with a lot more clarity and confidence, I think that is very exciting for me.
True, true. And I think when you talk about institutes working on making good students,
Yes.
being worked as a faculty, I know this is what all faculties do, that my student has to
Right.
be the best student. But the other
Right.
aspect, somehow the faculties miss out that, the corporates don't want the a good student, but they want a good employee.
Right. Right. Very
Um,
true.
Moving forward, from your experience, from your vast experience, what are the biggest skill gaps that you notice when students first step out of college? And have this changed over a period of time?
Sure. Like I already discussed with you that how, colleges are preparing very good students who are very good in theory. But when it comes to application part, I think that is the biggest gap that students have these days, the application. They know their concepts, the students, they know their concepts. And this is even taught in college. It's not like these topics like teamwork, time management, communication, these are not taught in management colleges. They are, but they are only taught in theory. So now what happens when they enter the workplace? It suddenly becomes very real. They don't really have a real exposure or experience to it. So then they start struggling a little. I've seen brilliant students freeze when, they've been asked to maybe present to a team or speak up in a meeting. They just get so nervous, even though they are well aware of all the information that is needed. So they are struggling with writing proper reports, or they forget to consider who the audience is. Sometimes, I've even seen early career professionals talk to their managers like, "Sir, uska kya hua?" Like, it's not wrong, they are just asking a question that what happened to that, but there is a way of speaking. I'm not saying that you should be sir, please sir. I'm not, that is not the expectation of the employers also these days. But there is a way of speaking, there is a way of asking. Now if I start talking to you, Yogesh ji, or bataiye, nobody would want to listen to this, because they'll be like, what is this casual body language, and what is this verbal language even that she is using? So I think we all have studied about communication, teamwork, collaboration, but when it comes to actually applying it, that is where, the biggest gap shows for students at corporate. So, and I always tell them, that it's not about what you know, it's about how you show up with what you know. So information ka kya hai? I mean, information is available everywhere these days. You just put a prompt in chat GPT, forget about Google also. These days, chat GPT is even a personal therapist to so many people. So information is available everywhere. You can read about everything, but unless you actually apply it in real world scenarios, there is no point of having all that knowledge. And over the years, I've realized that the gap is not always in skills. Sometimes people are not even aware. There is no awareness also. Simple habits like people, they listen to react, not to understand. So simple skill: listen attentively, listen effectively. It's very easy to say, but people are waiting for somebody to finish this sentence so that they can speak their point, or they can put their point forward. So this awareness is also not there. Like, I know the concepts, but I'm not aware whether I am lacking in these. So that awareness is also very, very essential. And yeah, and also the fact that young professionals especially, they are very scared of accepting that they don't know something. They are very scared of speaking up and asking a question. They think that, oh, they are going to think that I'm stupid, so I'll do my own research. Now that research never happens, that question is never asked, and that gap remains. So I think these are a few things: that you apply what you are learning, you have all the information. The only thing is to be aware that I need to apply these concepts. I know the concepts, I lack in these concepts, and I need to apply these concepts in real world. And it doesn't always have to be in an office setup. You can start applying them with your friends. While talking to your friends, start listening effectively instead of to react, or to just to respond or give them an answer. So yeah, I think that is one of the biggest gap. And of course, 10 years ago, maybe communication and etiquettes were very important. Etiquettes, most of the people these days are very well versed with. And when it comes to communication, I think again, ChatGPT, whether we like it or not, they help us with writing a mail, refining a mail, and everything. So language is not an issue anymore. The issue is also about our digital behavior. How are we behaving in online meetings? Because these days, many of the setups are remote setups. How I will switch off my camera, I'll keep playing with my hair, I'll, sit very sadly. So there are digital etiquettes now, that people need to be aware of. There are personal boundaries. I cannot message because WhatsApp is available 24/7. I cannot message anybody anytime I want. So, virtual collaboration, how to collaborate virtually, these are few things that I would say not just early career professionals, but everybody needs to work on. And yeah, those surface skills may evolve, but at the core, it's always about self awareness and professionalism. So, that is what I feel is very important to understand and learn.
Thank you. Thank you. I think this is something very, very important, especially the digital etiquettes, because now everything has become digital. And I think this is something not only new professionals, but even tenured professionals also
Yes,
need to work upon. And as they say, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. So
definitely.
we
I
should all
couldn't agree more.
definitely remember that, and I'm sure the audience listening to you are going to definitely benefit from this. Moving forward, what's the biggest mindset shift that the students need to make when moving from the classroom environment to the corporate one?
Well, the biggest mindset shift should be from me to we mindset. Because now you're not a student who is aiming to score the highest in the college anymore. Now, workplaces are all about collaboration. It's us working towards achieving the organizational goal. So that mindset shift is very, very important. And company in a company, your success will depend on how well you are working with others. Again, you could be very good at what you are doing, but if you're doing it alone, uh, while it does make an impact and it is very important, it is equally important to be able to do it within a team with other people, to be able to collaborate with them. So this mindset shift of me to we, us, that is very important. And another big shift is moving from instructions to initiative. Now, what happens in college is that we keep getting instructions from our professors. Okay, sir, we'll do this assignment. Okay, now we have to do this. Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But now at a workplace, you need to show initiative. Like, of course, you're told to do what to do. You're told to what to do in a workplace. You know what to do at a workplace, and you will be given certain instructions. But you know, it's also about your initiative. How much initiative, how much interest, how much confidence, how much your own self drive is there. That is noticed a lot at workplaces. And I often tell students, or early career professionals, that in college you're rewarded for giving the right answer, but at workplaces you are valued for asking the right question. And that is the reason why I keep telling them that no, and many even professors use this, that no question is a stupid question. You might feel like that, but it's always better to work with clarity and ask the right questions. Now, don't waste the other person's time also by asking irrelevant question. Then what happens? Do some basic research, do some basic study, and wherever you are stuck, make sure that you ask questions, because it shows initiative, that this person is interested in learning and growing, and not just do what they are supposed to do. So that movement from instructions to initiative is also very important. Me to us and instructions to initiative, these are the two very important shifts that the students need to make for their workplace journey, I would say.
Thank you for that. I think that is also very easy to remember. And I know it is difficult to implement, but I'm sure the audience are going to benefit from this and implement this mantras that you just talked about. Moving forward, could you share a success story, maybe a student or a young professional who truly transformed through one of your programs? Yes.
So, Dr. Yogesh, I feel that I'm not here to transform anybody, because that feels very one sided. Even if one person is walking out of my session with a realization, a small shift in how they see themselves, how they communicate, how they respond, I consider that I have been successful in what I started, doing. So that is my biggest win for me. And I'll be very honest, I also transform with my, audience, I would say, or the participants that are there in the sessions, because there have been so many moments where something a participant said made me pause and rethink the way I was thinking or approaching a certain things. And they help. I think I just help them realize, and the participants, they help me transform, I would say. That is how it goes. And there is one story that actually stays with me, I mean, and it has stayed with me for a long time. There was once during a session, an early career professional, we were just discussing about, how to be confident, communicate, this, that. So he came to me and he said, ki, ma'am, I don't feel that everybody is made to succeed. And I asked him why. So he told me that, my manager, he often keeps telling me that, you won't succeed anywhere else. You are surviving in this company only because this company is very lenient, and you will not even be able to crack the interview. I don't know how you have cracked this interview and come here. And we know how it goes at corporate sometimes. Unfortunately, some people do get, I would say, toxic managers. So, and I could see that, these statements have deeply scarred him. And I consider early career professionals and freshers is just like little kids. And not because they are, young in age, but because they are just starting out their journey. Just how, if you keep telling a little child that you are worthless, you are useless, that becomes their internal monologue. Similarly, if at a workplace, initially itself, if a early career professional is told, oh, you are a failure, oh, you can't do this, no, 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 you are wrong about everything, that is what becomes their journey at their workplace. So it is very important for us to see what we are saying to whom, to measure our words. So that was a moment then when I sat him down and I told him, and this is one thing that I truly believe in, that always question your knowledge, but never question your capabilities. Now, knowledge you can always work upon, because even I am still learning. I am still of a learner mindset. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is Mr. or Miss Know It All. You can always learn what you don't know. But if you do not have that drive, if you do not have that, confidence, then there's no point of anything, I would say, rather. So you have the capability to do anything. We are all born equal. We are all, born equally empowered, I would say. If you and I have gone to college, I would say we both have the same capabilities. Yeah, we may differ in knowledge, but the capabilities are the same. So let the boss say whatever they are saying. It's easy for us to say, let them say, don't pay any heed. But I told that person that question your knowledge, don't question your capability, and work on it. Expand your knowledge. Where do you think you are lacking? You do self assessment. If unfortunately your manager's feedback is not helping you, do peer assessment, do self assessment, see where you are lacking, and start working towards it. And I could see that something shifted in him after listening to this question your knowledge, never your capability. His eyes just started shining so bright, and he was so happy. And he did say that, ma'am, I never looked at it this way, that question your knowledge, never your capability. And I think this is going to be my mantra for the rest of my life. And he has my number. He still sometimes calls me up, and he has changed two companies after that, and he's doing really well. I mean, the day he resigned from his previous company and cracked the interview for the new company, he just messaged me that, ma'am, this is what happened and this is what I did, and I did not let his comments affect me so much, and I have finally cracked an interview. And he was so happy and excited, and it made it feel like a personal win for me. And there are things like these. And then there is one quick another incident that I would share. I was doing another session. It was a women centric session majorly, and I noticed there was this girl who was very apologetic, and her body language was also like very hunched shoulders. And anytime she couldn't hear me, she would say, sorry ma'am, can you repeat this? Sorry, I didn't hear it. Sorry, I did not understand it. And while that was not the topic of the session during that time, I paused my session right then and there. I was like, wait, why are you apologetic? If you're not able to hear it, you're not able to hear it. What is with so much sorries? Because when we apologize so much, it comes off as a lack of confidence, especially when we are apologizing for things that are not in our control. Now, if there is an issue with my mic, why should you be sorry? If there is an issue with my network, why should you be sorry that, sorry ma'am, your voice glitched or your video glitched, I couldn't hear you, things like that. So I discussed very little, reframes to sound confident while still being respectful. I gave her a little quick reframes, like instead of saying, sorry for interrupting, why don't you try, I would like to add something if this is a good time. Why don't you, instead of saying, sorry, I did not get that, why don't you try saying, could you please repeat that? I want to make sure that I understood it correctly. So, statements like this, they show you as somebody who is confident, who is very self assured, who is not like very meek and looking for excuses to say sorry, oh, I'm sorry, sorry, it's all my fault. No. Come off as somebody confident. And it's not just the words you are using, it's also about your body language. I have seen many young, early career professionals, their body language is very hunched. They are very like nervous. They are either, playing with their pen, playing with their, shaking their legs. So it's not just about the kind of words that you are using. The kind of body language you have is also impacting how you are being perceived at a workplace. So these, such little energizing conversations, they help me, you know, uh, and I mean, they make me excited. I'll be very honest. They make me very happy, and I may not see what happens after they leave the room, but I can sense that there has been some kind of realization. And it has landed. That realization has landed, and sometimes the impact is not even immediate or visible because I'm an external trainer. I can't stay back in the company to
Mm-hmm.
see, but I have heard from the HRs who have organized the training. I've gotten this feedback that there is a visible change, visible immediate change in the participants of the sessions. There is a change in their body language, there is a change in their confidence levels, and a change in their participation levels also. So, and I feel that is where the transformation begins, not in the result, but in that quiet, oh, I never looked at it from this point of view. Or every time somebody finds their strength in my session, I rediscover one of my strengths too. So, yeah,
Fantastic. It is when we talk about session, we talk about learners and the students. It is it is very refreshing to hear that it makes such an impact to the coach as well. So I think that is a wonderful
definitely.
thought, and I'm sure the audience is going to definitely benefit from this. That it is someone, not only the students or the learners, but as well the coach. Moving
Definitely.
forward,
Sure.
moving forward. From the employer's perspective, what do companies really expect from early career professionals beyond the technical knowledge?
Uh, That's a great question because we all know that some sort of technical knowledge is very essential. Only after the companies have assessed you on technical knowledge do they hire you. But at the same time, employers or the companies, they are well aware that anybody who is a fresher or with an experience of, let's say, anywhere between 1 to 3 years is not an expert, so they don't know everything already. So companies are well aware of that. Where I have seen people struggling is when they themselves have the expectations that I must know everything. You know, companies know that you are going to enter this workplace for the first time, or you have been at work, a part of the workforce for only a few years, so there is a long way for you to go. What companies are looking for is readiness and a learner's mindset. I think I would say a learner's mindset is something that will take you a long, long way. uh, Things like curiosity, accountability, and consistency. These things help you grow so much in your professional journey, you cannot even imagine. Now, the way they just want people to show up on time, respond respectfully, keep learning, and take ownership of their work. Learner's mindset, like I said. Often, I have been telling students of colleges that your attitude in the first 90 days is speaks much louder than your resume or the CV, because skills can always be taught, but your reliability, your confidence, your willingness to learn, and your emotional maturity, these will what will make you stand out. Now, if you are somebody who will cry because something has gone wrong versus somebody who has been very resilient. Now, there are people who cry, but they stand up, they fall down, they cry, but they stand up again and do start working from the scratch. Then there are people who will fall down, they'll cry, and they look for sympathy, not support, sympathy. So, there is a clear distinction in the two attitudes, and it's the resilience that is often observed, noticed by your managers, by your company, and that is what takes you a long way in your professional growth. And you'd be surprised, most of the managers, they would not even know, forget about remembering, they would not even know this, the freshers or the person's grades or scores in their college, university, 10th or 12th. What they'll remember is how that person is showing up at work, what is their attitude, what is their confidence, and what is their initiative. Again, initiative is equal to learner's mindset, because you are taking that initiative to uh, upskill yourself, to ask the right questions. So that shows that, okay, this person is ready to move forward, this person wants to grow, and he's not here just to earn the salary and go home. Now, there are people who are comfortable doing that, and they will grow at their own pace. But then the people who are taking the actual initiative, I believe they are the one who just skyrocket their growth at any company. So yeah, so employers, all they are looking for is accountability, confidence, and a learner's mindset. Not thinking that you are the expert already, but as long as you are willing to learn and apply what you are learning, I think that is the only expectation the employers these days have with their employees.
So, Abhiruchi, moving forward, if you could give one piece of advice to a final year student or fresher listening right now, what would that advice be?
I think I've given many advice throughout this podcast. But again, I would just quickly reiterate that Treat your job as an extended classroom. Keep your mind open to learning. Remember, you're still learning, just that instead of your exams, in a classroom, the exams or the tests are real in real life, and you are learning your lessons daily. Just be curious, observe how things are working, notice how seniors are communicating, how teams are handling their pressure, and how meetings are being conducted at a workplace. Do not try to prove yourself too quickly. Just focus on learning, building strong habits instead. And at the end of each day, note down one thing that you learned today. Taking notes is very, very important. And yeah, I mean, that's it. As long as you keep learning and applying, I think that is the biggest advice I can give to any fresher or early career professional for this.
Thank you, and that one thing to be written at the end of the day is a wonderful activity, and it is applicable for anyone and everyone. It has
Yes.
nothing to do whether you are a 20-year-old or 60-year-old, because in
Yes.
today's corporate world, you learn everything every day, every single day you learn something. So a good habit would be at the end of the day you write down what is something that you learned. So wonderful. I am sure the audience is going to benefit from this. Moving forward, how do you see college to corporate or early career training evolve in the next few years, especially with AI and remote work reshaping workplaces?
Wow. I think training is moving from information to interaction these days. AI can, like I also shared earlier, AI can teach you facts, it can automate quizzes, personalize learning paths, but it cannot teach you empathy, adaptability, and how to navigate human dynamics. So that is where human led training will matter even much more. In future, we are going to see blended models. In fact, they are already here, short self paced modules which are backed by live discussions, mentoring, reflection, etc. And as remote work continues, digital presence and emotional resilience will become the core skills. So, knowing how to communicate clearly online, how to manage yourself without supervision, and how to stay balanced will be the new hard skill these soon to learn and understand.
Thank you for that. And moving towards the final question of this podcast, what's your why factor? What keeps you motivated to work with young professionals and help them grow?
Well, I don't know about my why factor, but I can tell you about my why, which is WHYY. It's quite simple. Every time I see a young learner walk into a room, a little nervous, a little unsure, trying their best to appear confident, I always see a glimpse of my younger self. Because in those early days when I was still figuring things out, wanting to do well, I just wanted somebody to guide me without any judgment. And what helped me back then wasn't any policy or fancy training or any rule book. It was when somebody simply believed in me. So that belief, that tiny spark of you can do this, can completely change how you see yourself. And that is my why, that is what keeps me doing this work. Because when I see young professionals leave the session a little more self aware, a little more grounded, a little more confident, I know that I have done something meaningful. And for me, this work has never been about employability or presentation skills. It's about helping people understand themselves. Because once you do that, you know who you are, how you respond, and how you learn, every other skill starts to align naturally. And you communicate better, collaborate better, and handle challenges better. And maybe that's the real transformation, not becoming somebody else, but finally becoming yourself with a lot more clarity and confidence. So that is what I'll say, my why factor as to why I do this, why I do what I do.
Fantastic. So thank you, Abhiruchi, for your time. A lot of wonderful mantras you have shared throughout this entire podcast. I am sure the way I am benefiting from it, the audience is also definitely going to be benefit by this. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your future journey.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on this podcast and asking the right questions so that I could give something useful maybe to the audience. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.